Hi, everybody. How you doing? Nice to see you all this morning. Welcome, one and all, to Stock Markets with Bruce, with your buddy Uncle Bruce, where we try to talk about the stock markets in plain English. What the heck is going on out there? I get a kick out of reading some of your comments before I start my my broadcast. I love it. Thank you all for joining us. Today is September the 19th. It's Monday. It's 2022. Oh my goodness. It's nice to have you here. Unfortunately, we have a down market. We've been negative all pre-market today. The Dow's off 279, S&P 36 points lower, Nasdaq looks like 116. In percentage terms, it looks like all three indexes are about the same, 0.9 of 1% to 0.97. So within a tenth of a percentage point, they're all going to be about a percentage point lower if the market were to open now. We're not opening now, 57 minutes. Then we start trading. Oil is taking a beating today, down 236. We were as high as what was it, $86, $87 last week, Wednesday, Thursday, and we've been slumping since. 82.76 for oil. This is an indicator you can take to the bank. If the oil markets are dropping consistently in value, that is a sign that futures speculators, which control this market. That's what this market is. It's a futures indication for the end of this month of the price of oil. If it's dropping, it means that speculators are guessing that usage of crude will drop going forward in the next few months. They're just thinking not as much oil will be needed as we thought would be needed when we were back at 123 bucks a barrel 3-4 months ago, 5 months ago, when we hit those highs at the beginning of this Ukraine invasion by China. Now we're off $40 from those levels. One, there is no shortage of crude globally. There is no dramatic problem because Russia crude is not allowed to be, transacted upon. We all know that the Russians sell for cash under the table at a discount. And so there's plenty of crude, plenty. The problem for Russia and the problem for OPEC is that the Western world, and that's the G20, where all the dollars are and where the jobs are and the factories are and where the consumers are, we're not in need of as much stuff going forward. And the oil market is showing us the future. Marty, the future. We see the future of a slowing global economy and crude backing off. How low can crude go? Experts are saying 60, 65 a barrel is possible through this winter, Interesting. We'll follow that. Another $5 drop, $10 drop to the 70 range, mid 70, low 70s. Oil, gasoline prices in America will start touching $3 a gallon to 280 to 310, 320 in most regions. Some will be obviously always higher than others. Some will be lower than others, again, depending on state taxes, royalties, and so on. But the direction is the right direction. This is helping the economy, believe it or not, while Oklahomans will go, this isn't good for us. We depend on this money. Alaskans love royalties from oil. But consumer states where most of the people live, New York and California and Illinois and New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, the Northeast, you bring gasoline down another buck a gallon, you are really easing up expenses for a lot of people, especially families in the burbs who have one or two vehicles and have to move those kids around and got to do grocery trips. If you can spend 20 bucks less a week in gas, $80 a month less in after-tax income on gasoline, in other words, you have to make 120 to clear 80. That's a big deal. That $80 a month can go towards the increase in the grocery bill. And boy, are you guys noticing? Have you noticed the price of your groceries going up lately? Have you noticed? Have any of you out there gone out to a restaurant lately? I'm not talking about anything fancy. Have you gone out to your favorite hangouts lately and noticed the bills and compared them to, bills from before. Some of you folks, I remember that, if you're old like me, I'm going to be 67 this week. Oh my God. If you're old like me, you used to remember getting every month your income, your credit card statements in the mail, your bill, and it would show you all the charges that you processed on your credit card, and it would show you your balance and your credit line and your minimum payment if you have to make one, and all that stuff. But people used to collect those. People used to just store them up, and they'd have years of credit card statements in a folder, because once you start the habit, you never stop the habit. Now, a lot of folks in my generation, they would get the credit card bill. They wouldn't even open it. They would just put the envelope in the damn folder and they'd get to it later because they didn't want to know. And they would just send their credit card $300, figuring that's more than the minimum payment I need. Where others were very meticulous. They would go through each charge and make sure everything is correct. And they would send exactly the amount they owe, or exactly the minimum payment required, or any amount in between. But those who opened their credit card statements and accumulated them, they would have the luxury, if you want to call it that, where they could open up their file folder and take a look at last year and say, well, I just got my statement for August of this year. What's my statement from August last year look like? And, oh yeah, we went out last year for Dad's birthday, and we went to the Outback Steakhouse with Dad and Mom and whatever. And you could see the charge, how much you paid for you covered the bill as a birthday present to Mom and Dad, and you see how much you paid last year for steakhouse, and then look at the bill that you and your wife just did the other day and go, wow, it's just two of us and it was $60. Last year there was four of us and it was $100. And you go, oh my gosh, the price has gone up. Today we can't do it that easily. You want to look at your statements from your credit cards? They're available to you. It's all online now. It's all digital, so you can just draw up and pull up your digital statements. Have you noticed, though, what a pain in the ass it is to do? You have to hit button after button after button, and you could print out the bill if you want, but these documents, if you're really into computers and you're really into accounting, you're really anal that way, piece of cake. But if you're like me, it's excruciating. I just don't want to do it. But it makes for interesting study. If you take a look at 2 years ago, 3 years ago, what did you charge? Did you charge a meal at Denny's 3 years ago? Or have you charged a meal at Denny's in the last month? Have you noticed the difference in the amount you're paying? You're probably seeing it when your server comes to your table and you want to pay the tab, and the server brings you the little machine. And the little machine shows you how much the bill is and what kind of a tip would you like to leave on there, percentage tip. Do you remember the old days where you used to just multiply in your head what the tip would be, and you figure out, well, what's 10% of $30? Oh, it's $3. That was particularly good service, and there's two of us. I'll make it $4, $2 each as a tip. Now I'm noticing these little machines are being handed to me, and they're getting smaller all the time. They're smaller than this. Anyway, they're just wide enough to fit your card in there if you have to do that. But I notice now they give you these options. It'll say, here's the amount. Hit OK. You hit OK because you've seen your statement from the restaurant versus the machine, same amount. And then the little machine gives you the choice of leaving a tip. And it's would you like to leave a cash tip, or would you like to leave a percentage tip? Now, if you hit cash, you can enter the amount you want. But if you hit percentage, because you're trying to do it, like you're trying to follow etiquette, restaurant etiquette, and you're thinking, well, I'm going to leave a percentage tip. So you hit percentage. It used to be they give you options. This is like a year ago. You'd see options like 10%, 12%, 15%, or other, or 10, 15, 18% other. Now it's like 10, 15, 20, 25%. They're giving you options to pay up to 20, 25% tip as just a button. Just give them that much. Unbelievable. Of course, as far as I know, and I don't take the time to bother, but I have to admit I don't. But theoretically, the etiquette for tipping really is you tip on the value of the food that you're buying, perhaps the alcohol and the food combined, but not the taxes. So if you're in a city, state, or province, wherever you are, and I'm thinking North America, because I'm talking North America here, I'm not talking Europe. If you're in North America and you get a bill that says it's $63, but you look at the tab from the restaurant, if you bother, you go through there, you realize, oh, well, there's 8% tax, there's 4%, there's all these taxes. You take the taxes out and you go, well, it's actually only $51 or $52. $8 of the 60 is taxes. You want to tip 20% on $8 of taxes? That's $1.60 more. Now, in theory, look, the tip doesn't go to the tax man. The $6.60 goes to the server and the cook and the hostess, the restaurant as a whole. Rightly or wrongly, some restaurants don't give the tip all to their workers. That's another story. But isn't it interesting how the creep has been happening? They call it tip creep, tipping creep. There's other terms for it. But yeah, you should actually leave a tip on the food value. But I mean, I'm looking at who is serving. I actually look at who's serving me, apart from the service I'm getting. There's two factors for me when I leave a gratuity. It's the service rendered, quality of the food, ambience of the restaurant, all that stuff, and then who is it? Who is serving me? And you can tell. You can tell as a frequent goer outer, and I'm a frequent goer out. I eat out every day. I'm homeless. Jennifer and I are homeless. We don't cook in this hotel room. So when we go out, and if I am being served by clearly an individual that is not a PhD student, not a master's student going for their PhD degree. We're dealing with a career server that is working their butts off to take care of people, and they still are, with all the pressure they have in their life, still treating you like royalty. They get the top tip. Absolutely. I have no animosity to that whatsoever. I also am happy to help a university student or a high school student, but if the service I'm getting from those kids is like, I don't give a crap about my job because I'm just doing this for some extra money, well, then you're not going to get as good a tip as, as someone who really cares. Just my style. If the attitude is really, well, then, the tip is lower. It's just the way it is. Now in Europe, it's a whole different ball game, because in Europe, you go into a restaurant, there's a greater chance if you're going into a restaurant that it's a mom and pop place. It's a mom and pop establishment. And when I say that, I don't downgrade that. I don't poo-poo it. It's an independently owned and operated business, where in North America, you might go to a Denny's, it's a franchise. You go to, and it might be operated by a mom and pop, but it's a franchise. You go to Ricky's, or you go to Pizza Hut, you go to, name the restaurant you like to go to. Chances are a lot of them are part of a franchise operation, national, huge, and still they deserve gratuities. But when you're going to Europe, it's not as common, I would imagine. This is just my experience, specifically in Germany and Switzerland and other areas. And so I love going into mom and pop places. I really do. And I really rather support them, because they are up against everything. They're up against all the marketing of all the competition they have. They're up against unbelievable rents. They're up against incredible taxes. And these folks are working it 7 days a week as hard as they can to deliver quality. And I'm more than happy to leave a gratuity. But in Europe, when you are served, even at a mom and pop restaurant, you're dealing with the staff that are, in a lot of cases, these are career servers. These folks have been there for years, and they're going to be there for years, because the legislated minimum wage and the holiday packages and the perks for employees at entities in Europe are completely different than North America. I mean, in North America, you are vulnerable to instant termination. You're a minimum wager. Some states they discriminate against people who can earn tips to make them where employers are allowed to pay them less than other minimum wage people, and they're supposed to make the difference up on their tips. Unbelievable discrimination against the low end in some states, not all, and it's tough out there. Whereas in Europe, it's a lot more regulated, and the servers seem a lot more comfortable. They're professional. They know what they're doing. It's all they do. And they know that if you're a first timer to the restaurant, they're going to sell you. They're going to show you on the menu what's the best, the most popular item, or they're going to help you if you need help, English translation, what have you. And a gratuity is appreciated, but not necessarily expected. It's certainly not like in North America. And so, if you, however, go into a restaurant in Berlin in a tourist area, they would love to get a 15% tip from you because you're used to doing that at home. But if you're in a suburb of Berlin, or you're in small town Germany somewhere, you're with the locals. You're with a local. You ask a local, "Hey, listen, the tab here is 57 euros. What should I leave as a tip?" And they'll go, "I'll just make it 60. Just add 3 euros." And I'm thinking to myself, 3 euros on a 57 euro bill, that's not even 10%. I mean, barely 5%. And they're going, "Yeah, that's and they come with the machine, and they say it's 57 euros. And you say, let's make it 60. "Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much." They're very appreciative of those 3 euros because they're well compensated. Inside that 57 euro tab, there's already compensation in there for the servers and the staff. Interesting how the difference is. But servers in North America are younger, generally speaking, or they are full-time people stuck in that group, can't get out. And in Europe, they are career people, and they've chosen the profession and are well compensated for their efforts. Very interesting. Very, very fascinating. Anyway, it was an interesting trip for Jennifer and I this summer. It's 10 weeks in Europe, to be able to spend time with you guys every day and be there and be exposed to the culture of that continent. And knowing that 400 miles over there, 300 miles over there is a war going on, which is also freaky and weird. There weren't military checkpoints anywhere in Vienna, in Austria, Germany, and Switzerland. You wouldn't know there's a war going on just over there, and it's ugly. Had no idea. You couldn't know. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Anyway, welcome to the broadcast today. It's nice to have you here. Thank you, Alberto, for this donation on PayPal. You are, as always, absolutely awesome. And let's see. Alrighty, this is a good comment. Uncle, at some point, could you please speak on how we determine what the value of a stock should be? I'm looking to buy Tesla this morning, about 500 shares. I'm not sure if I should hold out for a minute. Thanks. 5 minutes is all I ask. I don't want to throw your show. That's a really good question, Alberto. At the end of the day, when I talk to my viewers one-on-one, I get a chance to answer, direct questions that they write down. A lot of you I know will make a reservation to talk to me on Sundays. You know what time you're going to be. You're going to be seeing me and whatnot. And what you're doing prior to the get together is you're taking out a pad of paper and you're writing down questions that you're going to ask me on a one-on-one, because once we get going, we might go off on a tangent somewhere and then you'll forget what we were going to talk about. So a lot of you will write down notes, and here's one right here about how we determine what the value of a stock is. Yeah, that's a good question. On Tesla, it's one of those, what should the stock trade at is the question, because the company is, profitable. Absolutely. It's a growing concern. Absolutely. Closed at 303 on Friday, but it's trading at 109 times earnings. Now, what does that what does that say? What does that mean when you have a stock trading at 109 times earnings and it's a $300 stock roughly? How does the market determine that, and how is that a reasonable price or a fair price? And the market is basically and the market is basically you and I. I mean, it's institutions and individuals who believe that a $300 value at this moment in time is a fair price to pay to get or sell it at, to buy it or sell it for. And one way we determine this value, one of the big ways, is we go, well, if it's a money maker, um, we want to know what kind of growth curve is this company into. In the case of overall life of a company, Tesla has now been public for what, 15 plus years or whatever. I can't remember exactly, 13 years, 15 years. It's been public for a while. It's been in existence before as a private company for a while, but it's now, still a rookie company when you compare it to Ford or General Motors or other automakers who've been around for a long, long time. But the difference between a Tesla company and a General Motors or a Ford or others is that Tesla doesn't have all this baggage that the others have. Fords and other corporations, the European car companies and all that, they happen to have retirees that they're carrying through their pension funds, and that they have to assist through pension matching contributions and what have you, to convince the current employees to keep showing up, rather than quit the company and go to another company instead. It's one thing to make a payment to an employee for wages. It's another thing to show the employee how important they are to the organization overall, by saying to them, look, those of you who are working for us today, you don't want to leave this company, because look at how we've looked after your mom and dad. Look how we've looked after your grandparents. Look how we've looked after all your fellow coworkers, or some of coworkers that have retired in the last 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, and they've been receiving a pension every month from the company through the pension plan, and we back that pension plan up with the contributions to keep it going. We also have extended health coverage and other benefits to retirees, and we don't abandon them just because they don't work for us anymore. Because after so many years of service and so many years of putting money into the pension plan from your paycheck, and we match it, there are benefits there for you. And this is why the longer you stay with us, the bigger the compensation gets upon retirement. And fully retired and fully vested retirees of companies, or a company like ours, are not on the poverty line and going to food banks when they're in their 70s and their 80s and so on. The thing is, what's the thing? Well, here's the thing. Ford and GM are now operating their factories with fewer employees than with as many as they used to have. To make a Chevy Impala in 1965 versus making a Chevy Impala in 2022, if you had to compare the two, if they still make an Impala, there are way fewer employees at General Motors assembling Impalas today than making Impalas in 1965. And it's the same for every vehicle across the board. Station wagon, SUV, truck, car, matters not. The problem is that retirees live longer now than before, and Ford and GM are carrying tens of thousands of retired workers who retired in the last 10, 15, and 20 years when they had much higher numbers of employees. Today's numbers of employees are like down by half, 2/3, a third lower. They're carrying the weight of all the retirees. Now, what Ford is waiting for, and GM and stock analysts, is passage of time. The passage of time. As every month goes by, a certain number of people pass away. Natural circle of life. And over the next 10 and 15, 20 years, General Motors will have very, very few people left that are retired, that retired in the 1970s or 80s or 90s. The retirees will now be people who worked in the late 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s. It's the revolving circle of life. And so the number of retirees on the retiree payroll is dropping and dropping and dropping. And eventually Ford and GM will have an equilibrium where this many people work supporting this many retirees. Right now, it's this many retirees and this many people working. Both parties know this. Ford has made adjustments, as have GM and other companies, to help with the pension, to keep the pensioners funded. That's one of the problems with the legacy companies. Tesla doesn't have that problem. Tesla analysts know that Tesla isn't even unionized. Yet Tesla analysts know that Tesla doesn't have a bunch of retirees that they have to carry. Tesla investors know that Tesla won't have any retirees to worry about for quite some time, because the employees of Tesla are younger, non-unionized guys and gals. Tesla likely doesn't hire anybody over 40 or 45 if they can at all avoid it, because Tesla doesn't want to have a scenario where they have a bunch of 45 to 60-year-old employees that make up a majority of their workforce, and there's a union drive done to unionize, and these 45 to 60-year-olds will be targeted by the unions to say, if you join the union, we will guarantee you and make sure there are retirement benefits for you. And you guys that are 45 to 65, hey, we could probably set it up that at age 60, you can already retire with benefits. And the 45-year-olds are going to go, that's only 15 years from now. I'm interested in that because my back is starting to hurt and my knees are bothering me. Tesla, I bet you, again, I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure. You look at the age group of the Tesla employees, and they're in the low 30s, high 20s. And they don't think about retirement like 45 and 50-year-olds think about retirement. It's a whole different ballgame. Now, Ford and GM and all the other guys, they would like to hire employees that are also in their 20s and 30s, physically strong, physically active, healthy as can be, hardly ever miss a day at work. Hardly ever, they don't get injured by twisting their knee because they're young. They got young knees and they recover quickly. Where 45 and 50-year-olds, we're old and creaky and we take longer to recover and we can hurt ourselves more easily. It's one of those kind of things. Have you ever noticed a Costco warehouse? So you go to Costco, look at the kids working in the with the forklifts and moving the boxes in the back and in the shelves, and look at the kids that are at the till. There are a few Costcos where you'll see 50 and 60-year-olds working, but most Costcos, if they had their way, their employees are in their 20s and 30s, maybe 40s, management in 40s. The rest are the hard workers, the floor workers, they're too young. That's Costco style. Downtime is minimal. And you either move up in the management or you move on because it's too hard. The labor is too hard for you to keep doing at your older age. Quite interesting how that works. Now, Tesla, what should the stock trade at? Well, analysts know that they don't have pension obligations. Analysts know that the company makes cars in China, Germany, the United States. They want to build factories around the world. They want to keep expanding. Analysts know that the cars are good sellers. Analysts know that people of a certain age would love to have a Tesla and will, when able to, they will get themselves an all-electric vehicle. And that Tesla is a world leader in the advancement of electric vehicles and have got gazillions of them out there proving to the world that the Model 3, the Model Y, the Model S, the Model X, they work, they run, and they don't just break down all the time. These aren't Ford Pintos. These aren't Ford Edsels. These aren't lemons. These are winners, these vehicles. And seniors love them. The kids love them. It's a car that is liked by multi-generational purchasers. And the analysts know that. And the company raises the price of a car by $1,000 and no one blinks. They just keep buying it. They keep buying them. And the 109 times earnings multiple that Tesla has, people are going, well, next year, the company could make 20% more profit next year than last year. Because as these new factories come online and become streamlined and more efficient, the cost of producing each vehicle drops on average every year, improving margins every year, inflation and everything else in the middle of it all. But generally speaking, this company is getting more powerful, it's getting stronger, getting more efficient. And when they launch a new model, they launch a new model faster than they launched in the past. They have pre-orders for these things to the tunes of hundreds of thousands of copies, like the pickup truck, for example. And people are paying for future performance today. Now, is $300 a good buy on Tesla? Is that a bargain on this stock? I say no. I say no, it's not. I think it's expensive. I'm not saying the stock is grossly overpriced. Like, I'm not looking at a pullback of 50% or anything like that. I don't think the stock's going to $150. But I think around the 250 mark, it's a better deal. Hey, look, if you buy the stock today, I say you write an option today on Tesla. Because the good news about Teslas and options on Teslas, they have a very high premium. And so if you buy 500 shares, if Alberta's going to buy 500 shares today, or anybody going to buy any stock today, God bless you, and turn around and write an option. And even if you're writing 300s or 302s or 305s or 310s, you can write an option for 2 or 3 weeks out, bring in a nice premium, which compensates you for some drop in value on the stock, and or will compensate you with a premium, a time premium, a nice one, to just hold the shares. And even if they stick around here between 295 and 305, they kind of hang around here for weeks on end. What do you care if you can bring in $5 a week in shrinkage? And I'm just throwing that number out there. I don't know what the shrinkage is per week, but if it's $5 a week shrinkage on Tesla, 500 shares, $5 a week. Hello, $2,500 a week in shrinkage. Thank you very much. If it's $2 a week, it's $1,000 a week in shrinkage. Whatever the shrinkage is, it can be rather nice. You got to cuff up the money to buy the stock, though. It's $300 a share. It's $30,000 for 100. Is that right? That's 300 for 1, 3,000 for 10, 30,000 for 100. Yeah, so it's 150 grand to buy 500. Then you can write 5 contracts. But hey, if 5 contracts can bring you $2,500 a week in premiums, that's $10,000 a month against a $150,000 investment. I call that a good return on your money. If it's more than that, even better. So, Alberto, knock yourself out. Get those shares at the price you like down here. Buy them. Start writing, and always be writing. So if they want to back off to 292, 294, you've written 305s. You're going to buy those back for cheap, and you're going to write 300s right now. And if they go down to 286, guess what? You're buying those back and writing 295s. You're always writing out of the money for premium, premium, premium. The shares want to stay flat for a month or 2 or 3, you are bringing in premium for months. If they want to slowly rise a couple of bucks every week or 2, you will write ahead of those contracts and stay ahead of it and gain that way. And if you need to do a rollover, easy peasy to do a rollover on Tesla contracts. Just keep an eye on the spread between bid and ask on these calls. You might have a 50-cent spread, an 80-cent spread. You got to make sure you take the top dollar when you sell and pay the cheap dollar when you buy. Stink offers, stink bids. But other than that, knock yourself out. So yeah, nothing wrong with that. This week should be a most interesting week with interest rates. Will higher interest rates hurt Tesla? No. I would bet you that a very high percentage of people who buy Teslas pay cash for the car. They don't even borrow money. They have the cash. It's a demographic that is different than what used to be, than, let's say, in the compact car market. The compact car market are borrowers other than seniors who have the money. SUV buyers, for families, payment buyers. Many are payment buyers, and interest rates do affect their decision to buy or not. The payment is the decider. It's not even the interest rate, it's the payment. If you can get a brand new Explorer from Ford with leather interior, moonroof, all the climate controls and all the Bluetooth and everything and threw it in, with all the warning controls, and I mean every single electronic high-end option, smart car, right? You don't care what the price of the car is. You actually don't care unless you're a cash buyer. If you're not a cash buyer, you're a payment buyer. You have one question of your car salesman. What's the payment on this car? That's all I want to know. And I will never be a cash buyer of this car. I won't be a cash buyer of a car until I'm in my 60s. I'm in my 30s or my 40s, and I got 2 kids, 3 kids. I got 2 now with 1 coming. I mean, it's a nightmare. It's got to be a car. It's got to be friendly for my wife. It's got to be friendly for me. It's got to work for the family. We don't want a minivan. We want a 4-wheel drive Explorer or Blazer or whatever it is you're buying. How much is the payment? And it's complicated because you have an old vehicle you want to blow off, and you might do a trade on it, and that will affect the payment on the new vehicle. And you may be into equity on the vehicle you have. You may not be into equity on the vehicle you have. Now, how desperate is the dealer to do a deal? And how creative can they come up with to make a deal for you? And will they come up with you with, in effect, a balloon payment deal, a lease deal, a financing deal? What factory incentives are there? On and on it goes. Complicated. A lot of you are buying cars now on stuff like CarMax and online services, and you're getting hosed because you don't want the showroom experience. I get that, but you are paying retail, and you're paying retail for the money. You're paying retail for the vehicle. You're paying retail for add-ons that you may or may not necessarily need. There actually is room, believe it or not, there really is room in this world for consultants to help you buy a car. The problem is you don't think you can afford one. And what you need out there is a former car salesman to be your consultant and to scour the market for you through dealerships and find out, okay, you're interested in an SUV, a blah, 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 these are the models and this is what you want. I'll find out what's available. And then your expert comes back to you and says, in this city today, I can get you 12 different vehicles right now. We can get your hands on them within a day or so. But if you want these options and these features, these have to be ordered through factory. This is a 1 month to 6 month time frame, or 100 miles within a 100-mile radius of our city, we can find these vehicles. And that's what you need. And from there, you then need the individual to help you cut the deal. And you might think, I can't afford someone like that. And the individual will say, look, you're going to be riding a car now. You're going to get a car with an 84-month deal. It might even be 96 payments. 8 years of financing is what you now need to be behind the wheel of this car. And the individual will say, if I can save you $10 a month in payments, would it be worth to you? That's $960 in payments to hire a pro to get you your vehicle. This is where the Carvanas of the world and these other online guys make their fortunes, because you will pay what you think is a great price on a vehicle because it's a payment. They're selling you on the payment. What you don't realize is you still don't own the car after 8 years. After 8 years, you still owe 10 grand on it because it's in effect a balloon payment deal with a $10,000 end of payment payout. But they'll sell it to you by saying the payment's only this much a month, and at the end of it, the car's still worth 20 grand. If you take good care of it, you only owe 10 on it. You got 10 grand equity on your next trade-in. And people go, I just care about the payment, man. That's all I want. Others will say, can I owe 20 on it at the end? Can you give me an even lower payment? And this is where these folks eke out dollars every month in payments, more money off you. They even offer you the bi-weekly payment or the weekly payment game. And that's where you're making 52 weekly payments a year for 8 years, 400 plus payments. And if they can get you to pay $3 a month more, $3 a payment more, a week more, that's 1,200 more in their pocket. All profit, profit, profit. It's a beautiful business because you guys don't know what you're doing when you're buying these things. I ought to know. I sold cars. I leased cars. I was on the other side of this trade, and I wrote some doozy deals, beautiful deals that made my customers happier than you could imagine, but made my dealership a ton of money. And then I earned a percentage on the net. I know how this game works. And this is built into the economy. Believe me, it is all built in. There are so many people out there driving vehicles that are paying $20 a month too much for the vehicle they're driving. And it's $240 a year. Doesn't sound like a lot of money, but for 8 years, $1,600, $1,800, $2,000 more coming out of their pocket over 8 years. You're locked in, you're contracted in, and there's no escape. It's unbelievable. And many dealers will cut deals where they don't make the money on the front end. They don't make the money when you drive off the lot. They've locked in their profit on the contract overall. And what they'll do is they'll write the contract up, and they've already sold the contract to a financing company because that's who you ultimately are paying the money to. And the dealer has locked in, and they get a check from the finance company the day after you drive off the lot. And there's their entire upfront charge, their entire payout right in one check right now. And in that check is their margins on a phenomenal write-up that was done by the business office or by the business manager and the sales manager in the business office. And it's all locked in, and it's a sweetheart deal. You, on the other hand, are driving a brand new car with a 5-year warranty, with a payment you can afford. And that's the end of it. And you've got your insurance, you've got your gas and whatever. And that's all you want to know because you've had enough. You have had enough of the negotiations on a new car. You don't want any more of this pain. Where if you hire a professional to come your way, he'll say, or she'll say, I can get you the vehicle you want with the bells and whistles you'd like. And I can probably get it for you for $25 a month less than what you can negotiate for it. The catch is, in that $25 a month, there's a percentage for me. You have to be willing to cough it up. And if you do, you will end up with a deal at the end of it all that says, at the end of so many years, you only owe this much on this car. You owe this much on the car instead of this much on the car. And you do have equity. After the third year, you're into the equity side of the equation. And for some folks, they'll go, I'll take that deal. I want that deal. Where most buyers of the car just want to get it over with. Just stop the suffering. Let me out of this showroom. Let me out of this little puny office with this car salesman. I want to get away. I'll pay anything, please. That's a whole other world that I don't do a channel on. Thank you all for being here. Yes, buy the Tesla, right options on Tesla. If you can afford Tesla at $300 a share, pick up 30 grand worth. You're not going to find options that are out there long-term in the money on the 90-10 rule. I don't think so. I'd be surprised if there were any 90-10 Tesla contracts that you could afford that are out there. Most, you might have to buy $50 contracts and pay $250 for the guy. You might as well just buy the stock. But that's just me. I'm just saying. Anyway, there you go. Thank you all for being here this morning. We're now 14 minutes away from opening the show. And the markets are lower. Not surprising. We have interest rates coming out this week that will be higher, and we're going to follow that closely. I'm showing GameStop at 28.23. It looks like, I think it is. Yep, 28.23, down 41 cents. And the Dow's down 218, S&P down 25, NASDAQ down 77. We're off about 2/3 of a percentage point roughly across the board. The crude oil market is under pressure, 276 a barrel lower in Texas, 82.35 for West Texas Intermediate. Cheers to all of you from around the world who watch me 5 times a week. Well, 5 days a week, 3 times a day. Gold Bagel members get to watch me 3 times a day live. I welcome you all. You might ask yourself, why should I watch this guy? What's with this old man with no hair? Like he's losing it. Look at it. What he's got left is white. Why should I watch this old fart on YouTube when I can watch channels on YouTube with all the graphs and all the fancy charting and stuff? Why do I listen to this guy? And what's with this option writing stuff? I mean, why should I care about writing options on stock I either own or I'm going to own, or deep in the money contracts I could buy and write calls against them, called poor man covered calls? Why should I do that? Well, you want to make money? You want to make steady income from another source other than your job? Do you have a full-time job and a part-time job? Do you have 2 part-time jobs? Do you have 2 full-time jobs and one boss doesn't know the other? They don't know you have 2 full-time jobs. Are you working your butt off for other people for a fraction of what you're worth? Are you noticing that in the last 6 months, your cost of living has gone up $1,000 a month for your household? Have you also noticed that you're working and your spouse is working? Both of you are working, and one of you are starting to get physically ill for whatever reason. You've got a disease. You fell down, twisted your ankle, you broke your leg. Are you folks noticing you can't work as hard as you used to work because of time, stress, whatever the reason is, or economic conditions? Are you in a community where it isn't all boom time and there are fewer jobs available, or the kind of work you've done is harder to get than before, and your source of income is drying up and going lower or stagnant? Yes to any of that. You definitely need income from another source. And so many of you out there do not understand and do not get it, that you can make money from the stocks or investments or assets you currently have. To a dramatic extent, you don't know this. And many of you who hang out here for a while, who have been referred to me by a friend or a relative or a coworker or someone you know, you've come over here for the last couple of days, a week, or you've watched some of my shows on reruns, my live shows, because you can't watch live. You're working now. When I'm yapping away here at 9:20 in the morning Eastern, you're at work. You can't watch me. So you're watching me tonight, or you've watched a show or 2 or 3 that I've done in the last few weeks, and you're just wondering, how can I add to my income as well? Hang around here a little while and you'll learn all kinds of stuff. But if you want to get on a learning track, go to my website, stockmarketswithbruce.ca. That's all it is. That's all you got to do. Just go there, head to this website right here. That's my website. The CA is Canada. That's what CA means. It's not like, Czechoslovakia or somewhere in the Mideast or somewhere in the Asia where that CA is legit. That's Canada. Okay. Stockmarketswithbruce.ca. That's me on my website. You go there and you will find my homepage to the channel, and it looks like this. It should look like this. Let me know if it doesn't. That was put together by my daughter and her collaborator. Without that gold bagel logo up there, that's just there because it's always there on my channel. If you go to classes on the tab that says classes, there it is there. This is what it'll look like. Attention students, classes in session. You want to learn how to write stock options. You want to learn how the market works. You want to understand the psychology of buying and selling anything. Go here. Start with lesson number 1, how to buy, call, and put stock options. Number 2, how to write call and put stock options. You got to understand the options market before you can even enter the stock market or the options market. Here's 3 and 4 aggressive trading strategies to profit from stock options. Writing options. Here's number 5 and 6 winning strategies, common mistakes people make. 7 and 8 earning income from writing put contracts, how to trade a stock option credit spreads. You got to learn this stuff. You got to know how this works, even though you might not do it. How to trade call and put butterfly options. How does Uncle Bruce pick his favorites here? Using poor man covered call writing strategies to quit your day job. This is one of my most popular lessons. But it'll do you good if you watch it only, but it'll do you a lot more good if you watch the first 10. By the time number 11 shows up, oh, are you ready for this? Number 12, oh, are you ready for number 12 when you get here? Stock options, rollover strategies, calls and puts. And then there's number 13, and now there'll be number 14. I'll keep you posted. There'll be more classes coming, but get started on this. This is your study at home, university class, college class in plain English. All right. If you are intimidated by instruction and you're worried about the term college class and all, you feel, oh, I don't think I can do this. This is above my head. I want to give you assurance. All the classes are in plain English, like my live shows are, and they are done they're done with the participation of a live audience. Let me say it that way. I have a live audience in all of these classes, and you'll notice when you are watching the class, the live audience are these guys, the members of this channel. Many of them are the live audience, and they ask me questions while I'm yapping away on the camera. And Jennifer, my Jennifer Aniston lookalike wife, who you've never seen, she's the moderator, and she stops me and says, I got questions from the viewers here. The class has questions. And I said something 2 minutes ago, and the questions came in. It's not clear enough, or it's not exactly explained properly. And I redo it, and then we move on. And you're involved in that kind of level of learning. This isn't complicated. I try to keep it simple, and I try to get through in an hour and a half to 2 hours, 10 minutes each class. These have been edited down with all the fluff out of the way. We just get right to the point. But for you guys, it's $100 a class to learn how stock options work, for $100 a class. And there's 13 of them. Now, I gotta tell you, before we get live here in 6 minutes, I have had a gal that I've gone to for massage therapy. She's an acupuncturist and masseuse, and I started going to her when I was 53, so like 14 years ago. And Jennifer's had massages. Jennifer Jr. has had massages from her, and I frequent her once a week to stay doing what I'm doing in front of this camera with you guys. She is a lifesaver. And I was talking to her about, well, what does it cost now to become a masseuse? If someone wanted to become a massage therapist in this province of Alberta, you have to have a license. Well, what do you got to do to be able to become a registered licensed massage therapist where you can get medical insurance so that, in case someone sues you, you're covered, you're hired by legitimate massage therapy centers, and physiotherapy places. What does it take? She said it's a 2-year course. 2-year course is what you have to take now, and it's at least $10,000 a year. And I'm going, my God, it takes you $20,000 and 2 years, and then all the exams in the meantime and the finals. And then your cost of your license, and then your medical insurance, and on and on and on to be a masseuse. And I'm thinking, man, you don't make $200,000 a year being a masseuse. You don't make big money. And I'm going, my God, I am talking to people on a computer or on you're watching me on one of these, on your iPads or whatever, and I'm telling you and helping you try to make money in this stock market. The kind of cash that people are making watching me writing stock options will put a masseuse to shame, the kind of money you're making. And you don't need to spend $20,000 in classes to learn how to do this. My goodness. I was thinking about that and going, my God, man, this is unbelievable, the differential. You can make a lot of money being an option writer. And if all all that you're hoping to do is if you can generate $500 to $1,000 a month of extra income into your household to just kind of tread water, this is a nothing burger for this channel. There are viewers here who make this in a week. They have no trouble. I've got folks here who are watching me live or watching me on rerun, who are members of this channel, who've taken my classes, who talk to me one-on-one once in a while, that are generating 1,000 a week, 1,500 a week, 2,000 a week, 10,000 a month, 15,000 a month, depending on how much capital you have in the markets. If you want to change your life and take control of it and be in charge of your investments, hang around here a while and join the folks who are in green. You'll see their name in green with a logo beside it. They're members of this channel. Become a member yourself, and you too can comment during market hours and ask me anything you want. And here's the kicker. If you take my classes and you have a question that you want to ask me about lesson number 2 or something you didn't quite understand on lesson number 5 or something like that, what you do is you join me live right here and you send me a question. You become a member of this channel and you send me a question and say, hey, Bruce, listen, I have a question for you about writing an option, or what does it mean when you say this or that? I don't quite understand it. You might write a question in the question box about something about one of my lessons that you don't quite get. And before I can even read your question, before I can get to it, these folks here, these people here, again, in green with the logo beside it, which, by the way, we've just shifted now to members only because the market's about to open up. These folks will probably answer your question before I can get to you. I'll get to you eventually, and I'll give you my answer. But you may find that, well, that's what so-and-so said and so-and-so said, because they're faster than I am, because I am reading all the comments and trying to stay on top of all these markets. But where else can you go on YouTube? I'll ask you this question. Where else can you go? Anywhere where you can take an online course like I've put out, lesson by lesson, watch them in any order you want, pay for only one class at a time whenever you want. You want to resume studies, you resume studies. You want to take a break, you take a break. Where else can you go where you can ask the instructor live during trading hours questions about the classes you were just taking? How many? I'm waiting. I'm crossing my arms. You tell me, where else can you go with all of that? There's really nowhere else. And I love it. I'm loving it that you're here, that you're able to react to what we're talking about here. You're able to react to this market. We can share these items together, and you can grow your knowledge on the fly as you're becoming a smarter option writer and bringing money in the front door. Welcome to the party, pal. This channel is unique to all other channels. And look at how many people you have to talk to through. I show right now 242 people. That's what I see up here on my screen. You probably see it down there. I have 242 people here right now watching me live. We're open for trading right now. We're trading right now. And you can ask me live questions about this market right now on the spot. And I'd be more than happy to try to answer it for you. There aren't 28,000 here. There aren't 15,000 people here. There's 247. You can be a member of this channel, and there's only 250 others watching right now. I see 250 right now that are watching right now. For me to get your question is a nothing burger. Look at how slow these comments are going by. I can read every one of your comments. More than happy to do it. Thank you for being part of this channel. Those of you who are here. The 248 of you, I bet you 200 of you are option writers. 48 of you are hanging around because you kind of like the ambiance of the place. And I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're all here. Whether you're watching live or on rerun, many of you watch me only on rerun because you can't watch me live. And I so appreciate it. If you could hit the thumbs up button, whether you're watching me live or you're watching me on rerun, hit the thumbs up button for me. Make that one move for me, if you don't mind. We love to get thumbs ups on this channel to show YouTube we are relevant. We deserve to be promoted by this network to the world at large. Investors globally watch us, follow us, and get exposed to us because of these thumbs ups that you guys give us. And I appreciate it very, very much. We have 153 thumbs ups in the house right now. 47 more is the magic number I'm looking for. 200 thumbs ups per show minimum in the morning. I need 47 more. The sooner you can hit that thumbs up button, the better. Please help us. So thank you all for being here. Let's make some money today in this market. Larry, thank you, buddy, for hitting the thumbs ups like you always do. We're up and running. Mirko, I am thumbs up 132 today. Let me know what number you are. If you hit the thumbs up button and you're a member, tell me what number are you. If you want to send me a message and you don't want to be a member, you can send me a message on this live show. You just have to put up a donation on the on the super chat and send a super chat. Send me a question. I'll try to read it right on the air live. Try to answer it for you. Would love to help you out. Thank you guys very much. Ring a ding ding, says Lair. Rock on, says Flair. Welcome one. Constantine is here. GMEW 2922. Wow. Mirko, what is wrong with GameStop? If there is any news, it's just up to make us angry. I've got it at 28.96, up a little bit. Great. What's the volume at the moment? 289,000 volume. That's a nothing burger. You divide that by 4 because we just had the stock split a few months ago. This is what, 70 something thousand shares. There's nothing going on here. It's dead quiet. 28.94. It's up a little. Won't last. We'll see. The Dow's off 200 points. Yes, it is. I've got the Dow off 200 points. And we got Apple down 122. GameStop up 26. SoFi down 7. Rocket Lab down 2. HPQ's down 2. AMC and the Ape shares are up 29 cents. Maybe that's why they're up. But maybe because AMC is higher. I don't know. ME down a penny. Matterport down a penny. ATIP down 9. Smart Rent down 4.5. Spire down a penny. Cyxtera down 11. Too early to tell how those are going to do. Bed Bath Beyond down 2 pennies. Tesla down 162 to 301. Pfizer down 71 cents. Boeing up a nickel. Cisco down 31 to 42. Now down 27 to 43.02. Twitter unchanged. Home Depot up 117. Carvana up 44. Robinhood down 34. Vanik Vectors SMH, the ETF chip fund, they're at 203.74. 203.23, down 68 cents. IBM down 75 cents. Microsoft down 264. Goldman down 215. Google down 72. Amazon down 75. Meta Platforms up 52. BlackBerry down 8. Royal Caribbean up 136 to 51.80. Disney down 42 cents. What else is going on? NVIDIA down 79 cents. Walmart up 45. NVIDIA up 79, pardon me. Costco down 244. JP Morgan down 62 cents. Over at American Airlines, 1402, 1405, up 30 cents. Netflix down 330. Moderna down 386 to 133. I know those option writers out there that write those 140s and 138s and 135s. They're geniuses. They're making nothing but money. We're down 193 on the Dow Jones right now. I love the ambiance, says JR. I just love the ambiance. Constantine, I'm number 158. Mother of Mumbai, I'm number 158. Well, someone's right. Constantine, any news about GameStop today? How come it's so high? Alberto, thanks, Uncle. I'm buying Tesla. IR, Aaron, I'm number 46 from this morning, man. I was here right away. Look, we're 29.06 on GameStop. Yay. Got up to 29.29. Yay. To 29.03. Right options. Right 29s, right 30s for this Friday. Next Friday, taking some money. I bought my SoFi SPAC for 2 cents for a profit of $1,100. There you go. Not bad on writing some options. SoFi is $5.99, down 6 cents. Some folks are writing 6s and 7s and 750s and 8s, trying to take some premium off the table. Rocket Lab 506. There's a conference. There's a show and tell for Rocket Lab this Wednesday. There might be a pop this week on Rocket Lab, just so you know. I read that yesterday. Millions of investors are aware of this, that Wednesday, Rocket Lab is doing a show and tell to the street about how they're doing. Could be interesting. We'll see. H. Gregory, I am thumbs up number 101, buddy. I was there for you this morning before all these latecomers at 167. But hey, I say thank you one and all, whether you came in here early or you're here now. 167 thumbs ups, 33 to go. Keep them coming in, folks. Get us to 200 ASAP. 168, 169, 31 to go. And we've got 200 thumbs ups. Thank you all for stepping in here for us and coming together. Those of you who make donations to this channel through Super Chats, I thank you. Super Stickers, you're awesome. Those of you who are doing PayPal donations, these are anonymous donations on PayPal. The links are down below. Thank you guys for being there and letting me know how we're helping you out and how it's working for you. I cannot thank you enough for these for this support of this channel. Thank you. Those of you who are members, you are the backbone of the channel. It just keeps this channel rolling and rolling and rolling. I know that some of you have what is known as an automatic enrollment rollover, where you're members of this channel and you've told YouTube to just automatically debit your credit card or whatever you're using to stay a member of this channel. So you don't even have to think about it. You're just a member, period. A number of you get a monthly reminder from YouTube where it's that time of month again. If you want to stay another month on his channel as a member, you have to make a payment. I thank you all for those of you who do that. For those of you who consider it and wait a day or two, or you forget and then you come back in, I thank you. Those of you who've been away for a while and you are coming back on board, I can't thank you enough for that too. We appreciate it. Jennifer and I, we know, and we appreciate the fact that I wouldn't be here unless there were members of this channel, because the view rate with 258 people here right now, YouTube is paying me right now. I bet you I am earning right now from YouTube. Today, I will get paid $6, maybe $8 today. YouTube will give me maybe $8. Those of you who are premium members of YouTube and you spend hours a week watching me, I make more money from you guys than from the advertising that YouTube has, but it still adds up to $8 a day. It's memberships. It's all memberships. So thank you. If you're becoming a member, you are directly affecting this channel's future, and we thank you very much. Those of you who take classes, thank you. One-on-ones, thank you. If you'd like to have a one-on-one session with me this Sunday, we have openings at 10 o'clock Eastern, at noon Eastern, and 2 o'clock Eastern time this Sunday. I have 3 openings available only for 10, 12, and 2 o'clock Eastern time. 8, 10, 12, and 2. I'll get it out there. If you'd like to have a one-on-one session with me, send me a private email at my email address, brucefrommert@hotmail.com. The link is down below, but there it is. And we'll figure out what time you'd like, and we'll get you set up. The cost is $400 US for an hour of my time, where it's a private session between you and I, or if you and your wife would like to join us, you and your boyfriend, you and your girlfriend, you and your husband, you'd like to have the two, it's fine. Might be more than happy to have the two of you join me at the same time. It's a great way to recap where you're at, where you were, where are you now, and where are you headed. And we can go over trades you make or trades you're thinking of making, or adjustments to your account, or just an overall idea. For those of you who are entering a new phase in your life and you want to get a second opinion on what your options are and what you might want to consider doing, I'm more than happy to talk to you about those kinds of discussions. There's a lot of you out there who are in a position where your world is changing because of time. Grandma, grandpa, mom and dad, siblings, whatever, your world is turning upside down or is turning into a new direction, and you want to talk to someone about what is expected of you or what you might be going through coming up, more than happy to be here as a non-relative that will try to help you sort out what's going on and what to expect in the next 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. There's a lot of that going on all the time. Every one of you are in your own unique world, and from time to time, you might want to have a sounding board to say, I'm thinking this is the way I'm going. What do you think? And I'm not going to be at the Thanksgiving dinner table to publicly humiliate you in front of the other relatives to say, so I understand you're doing this now, huh? I'm not that guy. If you'd like to find out what's going on, or you want someone to react to you without catching up to you at the Christmas table, I'm the guy. I could be the guy. And it's always a fun hour. I'm pretty sure that within the first 60 minutes that we're hanging out together, you're quickly going to go, oh man, am I glad I sent you $400 because the return is huge on what I just put into this. Thank you, Uncle Bruce, for all the advice and your reaction to what I'm thinking of what's happening versus what you think is happening. Wow, you've opened my eyes to stuff I hadn't even thought about. That's what we try to do. So thank you all for your confidence in this channel, for your loyalty to this channel, for your the growth curve you're on. And congratulations to a lot of you here, live and on rerun, who have really changed your lives dramatically, because a year ago, the kind of questions you used to ask me 6 months ago, 18 months ago, 3 months ago, the change in your life and the way you look at the market now versus how you used to look at the market, the way you react to the market versus how you used to react to the market, the way you have mellowed out, how you have calmed down, how you don't let the market get to you anymore like it used to get to you. And this affected everything. This affected how you ate, how you slept, how you interacted with people, how a bad day used to be a bad day for other people, how a good day used to mean you wouldn't shut the hell up about how great a day you were having. You've all matured out bit by bit in this stock market by hanging out with me here. I am thrilled about this. I really am. This is a payoff to me that isn't financial, but it is rewarding to me. Jennifer and I are so humbled by how many times we are told in no uncertain terms how we've made a difference in your worlds. It is incredibly satisfying to hear this. You have no idea. Well, maybe you do. In your own way, you have it. The one-on-one relationship that we've had here, whether it's just you watching me, whether it's being together on one-on-ones, you taking my classes and being here every day, but the collective return that I receive and Jennifer receives from your successes and your evolution, how you have evolved as much more knowledgeable traders and followers of the market. This has been huge for us. It's really been incredibly rewarding. And I thank you all. I so look forward to future one-on-one get-togethers, meet and greets. I am so looking forward to meet and greets going forward. This winter coming up as we head south, perhaps traveling through the US from time to time, through Europe, just finishing this 10-week holiday in Europe, meeting people in the UK, in the Netherlands, in Germany, meeting people uh, everywhere. It's been really something. It's just great to see people. I'll meet you at a Starbucks at a railway station. Then there they are. It's unbelievable. People come up to me and go, "Hi, Uncle Bruce. How you doing?" I recognize me, but I don't recognize you. But after a few minutes, it's just, "How you doing?" And it is really humbling, and it is really rewarding for a creator, a YouTube creator like me, to be able to get this one-on-one feedback. It's fantastic. So thank you all for being here. It's fantastic. How much are you going to charge me to attend my family's Thanksgiving? Hey everybody, this is Uncle Bruce. So much fun. Oh, I gotta tell you, it's just great. It's absolutely wonderful. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and being with me yet again. We're only down 119 on the Dow at the moment. It is not a bloodbath today. We're down to 13 on S&P. We're down 41 on NASDAQ. We know, and the market knows, that rates are going to be higher this week. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Every real estate agent in the world knows that mortgages are going up in the next week to 2 weeks. No real estate agent is under the illusion that interest rates are going to go down in the next 2 or 3 weeks and you can get a mortgage cheaper next week than this week. No real estate agent worth their salt is going to tell you that. There are real estate agents out there who are realists who are saying to people, look, you can try to sell your house, but if you think you're going to get this top dollar fantasy price that we were talking about 6 months ago, think again. It's not happening. If they are lying to you and selling you a bill of goods about how great a price you're going to get for your house, you got the wrong real estate agent. All right, you're not with a winner. You're with a loser. You'll notice if you can't reach a real estate agent on the phone the minute you make a call because it goes right to voicemail or it goes to an assistant, you are probably dealing with the right real estate agent. A busy real estate agent in this market is a winner of a real estate agent. A real estate agent that answers the phone on the first ring and sounds like they're bored to tears, you got a problem because you're dealing with somebody that's doing something wrong. You're looking for real estate agents that are proactive, not reactive. And they're ahead of the curve and they're on top of the market. And it's the same for, theoretically, it used to be the same for an investment advisor. It used to be that when you were looking for a stockbroker, you wanted someone that was hard to reach. And the reason they were hard to reach is because they were so busy with their clientele. That isn't the case anymore. Real estate brokers, stockbrokers are almost impossible to find because we are dying of old age. We're no longer welcome in firms anymore. Financial firms don't want people like me anymore. They don't want a 35-year-old version of me, a 40-year-old version of me in their house because I'm a problem child. This individual here is not welcome in a brokerage entity any longer. They want people that are going to be turned into robots that will only do one thing. They will do what they're told by their supervisors. They will make cold calls or whatever to try to get you to bring your money in and put it under administration. That's all they want. They don't want free thinking know-it-all guys like me who say, I wouldn't be buying that mutual fund right now. I'd be buying an ETF, or I think you might want to buy this stock, or perhaps we should look at some option writing ideas. They don't want guys like me in there. I'm bad news. I'm a free thinker, and I have to be watched by supervisors of what I'm doing with you, and they don't want to do that. They want me to gather assets and just corner you into a certain type of investment portfolio and satisfy you by saying to you and selling to you the idea that you should be happy getting monthly updates from our artificial intelligence computer that's telling you what your account is worth. You should be happy with the printout from our analyst, wherever they are, about whatever we think about the markets. Because we send that report to 25,000 people every month. You should be happy being one of the 25,000 or one of the 50,000 or one of the 1 million clients we have that pay us so much a month in fees, either a flat rate or a percentage. You should be happy with it. You should be grateful that we're looking after your money for you and you're getting a mediocre return on it. You should be happy because it's one less thing for you to worry about. Don't have to worry about your money. Your money's being managed by professionals. One less thing. Go out there and work and raise kids and try and get decent car payments and whatever. We'll take care of your money for you. Really? Well, some of you have, many of you have done that. Many of you have done that year in and year out, year in and year out. Your parents did it for decades. Your grandparents did it. This business has completely changed out in the last 30 years. Completely changed out. It is now just a managed business, not a hands-on deck managed business. And those of you who want to look after your own money, the platform brokers are there. They're here for you, but these guys also will offer you managed accounts. They will also offer you, a percentage of the cost of the percentage cost of your portfolio to manage it for you. But those of you who have taken this over and are now managing your own affairs, you've quickly figured out you're better than the guys who you pay money to because you care. You watch the market every day. You watch the direction of the market every hour. These people here out the outside that sweet talked you into putting 400 grand into their account 2 years ago, 6 years ago, they're making you a mediocre return. And in effect, it's likely, I'm going to guess, it might not be surprising that some of you out there who know somebody, family members, workers, pals, whatever, that put a whole bunch of dough into these managed portfolios in the last 2 or 3 years at the height of the bull market, because everyone was putting money into the market when the market was hitting new highs all the time. And people who are off 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40%. They're way off their top. Their values have sunk and they feel defeated. They don't want to look at their accounts anymore. They're just kind of hoping it comes back. You all know those folks. Look, you can be one of those people and just, throw money into a money manager's pot and they'll now run, they're running 150 million now, 350 million, 5 billion now, and you're just adding another $50 a month into it or 100 a month, plus that 401k or that whatever you rolled in there. And you're just adding to their pot of buying power. Doesn't mean you're going to make any money. Because you don't know if they're going to make any money. But they're going to take their fees. I can tell you that. They're going to take their fees every month. Look, you want to bring in cash into your portfolio, into your hands, into your checking account. You want to bring in $500 this week into your checking account to cover the house insurance bill that is coming, or the car insurance bill that's coming from Geico, or your car needs new tires. It's winter coming up. You need $400 for tires. You know it. Where's it coming from? Well, you got this account over here that's generating money, writing these options. How about that? How about some dough from there to take care of these one-offs? Maybe you've got a credit card or 2 or 3, and collectively you only owe $15,000 on credit cards. And one of them is a $2,200 balance, and one's a $3,800 balance, and the other one is $8,000 balance. It's all it is. It's just nickels and dimes, and you're making the minimum payments because they only want $80. They only want $120. They only want $240 a month, and you're paying it. But what you don't understand is you're paying it with after-tax money, and you're paying interest on after-tax money. For every penny in interest you're giving a banker, you got to make 1.5 pennies gross at work. And you're not paying them a penny. You're paying them $40 a month, $80 a month, $100 a month in interest, $400 a month in interest, $600 a month in interest, to add it up, and figure half as much more is what you got to generate to just pay the interest payments on whatever you owe money on. And it is staggering and it is scary. And if you trip and break your ankle, are you out of work for 6 weeks? Can you handle the bill for the medical bill? Do you have deductibles of $1,000 for healthcare? Do you have a $5,000 deductible? Where is this coming from? In the meantime, you're not working. The employer only pays you for a couple of weeks, or you have insurance through your employer that only gives you half the money you usually earn, or whatever it is. You've got a problem, Houston. You have a problem, and it just showed up out of nowhere. How are you going to handle that? Well, can you write options on what you sit on to generate income, to start knocking off some of this ridiculous 18, 20, 22%, 24% interest that you're paying to these institutions that are your friends? Can you start knocking them off and get rid of them and eliminate this minimum payment? If you can eliminate a $150 a month minimum payment that you're making to a credit card, you can add 50% to that and say to yourself, you know what? I don't have to take $225 of my paycheck anymore every month to give it to this institution. I just paid them off from option premiums. Now I'm going to take care of this $200 minimum payment by getting rid of this one. When I get rid of that one, that's another $300 gross I don't have to make at my job just to pay this debt that I used a year ago. I've been carrying it now for a year, 2 years, 4 years. If you can get rid of 2 minimum payments that tally $350 a month after tax money, which is really $525 gross money you're generating, all of a sudden that dough, $350 a month, can go towards somewhere else. That's $4,200 a year that can go somewhere else, either debt or cost of living, what have you, or back into your account to grow your account. Welcome to the party, pal. It's time to take control of your life and make it work for you. You're not working for them. You're working for yourself. That's what it should be. And if this account that you have can generate some revenue from option premiums, hey, it's money to you. Because when's the last time you took a trip that you really wanted to take? You know the trip you have to take to grandma's house, to your in-laws' house? You know that trip, don't you? You know that one. You got to take that one. You got to bring the kids to see the relatives. Oh, yeah, I got to take that trip. When's the last time you took a trip with either just your sibling, your better half, or with a family that you really wanted to take, where you really wanted to go for the length of time you wanted to take that trip? When's the last time that happened? Thank you, COVID, for screwing up 2 years of our lives. But what about getting away on a trip you can afford to take where it doesn't hurt? It's an expense, yeah, but we can afford to do it, and we're going to do it. There are a lot of you out there who've been chained up in your houses, chained up in your cubicles, chained up in your life where you can't get out. You don't realize how chained up you've been. And some of you, I know for a fact that some of you are here, have managed to change it all. And the options market has done it by writing options. It's just been a revelation. You couldn't believe that you could do this, and you hadn't been doing it for 15 years. And you're saying to yourself, I wish I knew this guy 15 years ago. I could have been writing options back in 2007. If I only knew. But now you do know. And now what's the next 10 years going to be like? Think about that. Those of you who are now bringing in $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month. Think about the next 2 years of that kind of capital coming into your life. You may have already done it. Grab a pen and a paper and start writing it down. Put it in writing and take a look at the scoreboard. You know what the scoreboard is? This is what I owe. This is what I have to have every month. And this is what's coming in. And this is what's coming in from work. My wife brings in this much. I bring in this much. And this is what's coming from the options market now, from our account. This is the new normal. We have these new totals coming in versus what's going out. And we're going to change the out part of the equation. We're going to knock off debt. And we're going to knock off minimum payments, mandatory payments, old car loans, we're going to start really rearranging our life. And when we get rid of that credit card and that credit card, and we knock off that old car loan, we now have X amount of money coming in that doesn't have to go out anymore. We can now get the new car. We've got to the point where now the old car gets dumped off and it's going to be replaced with something newer, better, more efficient, or more relevant to our current life. And then we keep working on, what about the furniture in this place? What about the garage that's full of crap? When do we get rid of that and change that up a little bit? What about the house? Are we going to upgrade the house? Are we going to downgrade the house? Are we going to shift? Are we moving to where we really want to move to because we can now do it? Our credit score has risen so much in the last year because we've knocked off all these IOUs and debts and old credit cards and everything else. Our credit score is rising. Our cost of money is lower than it would have been had we gone for a loan last year versus next year. It all changes. It all goes in the momentum goes your direction. Rather than against you, it goes with you. You're riding a wave, and there's another wave behind you coming, and another one coming. There's option money is coming in. You know it's coming. And now you have a whole new confidence. You're raising you're walking taller. You're thinking stronger. You're buffed up. Financially, you are buffed up. And this is a whole attitude change. And boy, does that change this. My God, does it get rid of cobwebs and get rid of depression and gives you the optimism going forward. Am I pumping you up? I hope so. I'm trying. Oh my God, kids, come on. Let's get going here. Make some money. Constant wrote last week, GameStop, September 23rd, $29 covered calls. And of course, the stock is going up, which means you're getting richer. That's the good news. You're getting richer. Stock's going up. You want the stock to go up. You really do. You would rather have this problem than the other problem. I'm telling you, this is good news, Constantine. You want the stock to go up. The problem you want to have is rollover problems. These are the problems you need. Headaches you got to have. Oh God, I only brought in so much money on my contract and the price of the stock has gone up. My contract has gone up in price. I'm going to have to do a rollover. Yeah, you're going to have to roll over to the week after that. Sometime in the next little while, you're going to have to do that. And guess what you're going to do? You're either going to write another $29 contract for more money than what your current one is trading at, or you're going to write a 30 for just as much money or more money, depending on how far out you go, because your stock is going up. So you're going to look at your account statement and go, oh yeah, when I wrote that 29, it was trading at 28. Now it's 29.20. Oh yeah, it's $1.20 more valuable. Oh yeah, I'm richer. I am richer. You're richer. You want it to go higher. Next week, you want it at 30. Next week, you want it at 31. The next week, you want it at 32. You want the stock to go to $100 a share. You want to be writing 105s. You want to be rolling into 110s. This is the nightmare you need, because that's what's going to make you rich on everything you're writing on. Do not fear the upside. Welcome it. Welcome the upside. Please, God, give me problems like rollover problems. This is the problem I need. Warren Buffett problems is what I need right now. I need problems like I have to pay more in taxes. I have to go to H&R Block to help me with my taxes. I have capital gains coming in like you can't believe. I've got all kinds of problems. These are the problems you need. Warren Buffett problems. Welcome to this party. It's a whole different party than the pity party back here. It's a happy party. This is a scheming party. This is where we go, well, I can get tax write-offs if I do this, or if I do a capital loss, roll over into that, I can shelter a capital gain over here. You hire people to solve tax problems because you can afford it. These are the problems you want. Welcome to this party. Flint Creek Soap Company, New York City was my first trip since COVID, and you are 100% correct. It was heaven, but it seemed subdued, cleaner, but half the people. It was eerily quiet, but also it was a wonderful stay. Welcome back. You know what? When you can take a holiday to a place you're dying to go, you haven't been for a long time, and others can't, guess what you are? You're a winner. You're a winner. You can go to New York when others can't go to New York because they can't afford it. They can't afford the increased cost. They have a cash flow problem, whatever the issue is, and you can go. That's winning. That's right. If you can go to Europe when others can't afford to go to Europe, you're a winner. When you can afford to go to Colorado and go skiing in the winter and others can only stay at home and hang out with relatives, you might be a winner. Now, look, some of the relatives you go visit are wonderful people. And some of the relatives you want to visit wonderful people, that wonderful relatives. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you haven't had a cruise for 5 years and you can go on a cruise with a balcony suite to the Caribbean in the middle of the wintertime and get away from the Chicago weather for a while, I think you're a winner. I don't think you're a loser at all. I think you're a winner. And if you can take one of these with you, these are kind of portable, so they're easy to carry, okay? And they have these things on it called stock quotes. And you can keep an eye on your option trading from a ship. Congratulations. Now you're a double winner. And if you come home after a 1-week holiday, 2-week holiday, and you have just as much money in the bank now as you had before you left, you're a triple winner. And if you're in line in Disney World, waiting for your turn to go on a ride with your kids and your wife or what have you, and you're looking at your phone and you execute a rollover trade because your stock went up in value again, you're a quadruple winner. You're in line going, you know what? These people all around me are spending $500 a day, $1,000 a day, $600, whatever the cost of a family of 4 in Disneyland is, Disney World is, with the hotels and the car rental. You tell me how much a day this costs. You average it out. You do your 10-day trip and tell me you're not spending 10 grand. You're looking around going, I just made $1,000 today standing in line going on this ride. Quintuple winner. Nice going. Yes, getting assigned equals max profit. Yes, Dave. Dude, I'm sitting on $25 GameStops expiring 9/23. I'm thinking I'm going to cross my arms for now. There's nothing wrong with that strategy. Nothing. On the other hand, if you can roll into 26s for next week and get more money, or 27s for the week after that and get more money than these cost you to buy back, or just as much, that's a win too, because it's $200 a contract more to you if exercised. Up to you how you want to play it. The Fool is here. Wrote my first call on GameStop last week. October 7th, $30 strike for 209. Say we break $30 today. Still with a lot of time left. Should I roll over or fold my arms for a few days? Well, okay, you're talking October 7th, right? This is the 19th of September. We do have quite a bit of time left. There's the 26th, and then I forgot the date. Got what, 2-3 weeks to go here? 2 weeks, right? 2.5. Yeah, I would say you're looking at rollovers because you never stop looking at rollover situations. You want to be ahead of this all the time. You want to take a look at a scenario like, I wrote a 30 that expires October 7. If I wanted to write if I want to write a 31, and I would go out to October 14 or October 21, could I get more money for that contract than the contract I have now to buy it back? Because at the moment, the $30 contract you've written is out of the money, even though the stock's at 29.11, it's still out of the money. Stock's up 47 cents or whatever. That's great, but it's out of the money. It has no value. It's got time value on it, and that's it. The key now is, do you want to make the move into a 31? Can you? And be paid to do it. Maybe this week's the week, but maybe this week isn't the week. Maybe you're going to say, you know what, Uncle Bruce, I wrote this October 7 call, and I hauled in 209 for it. I'm looking right now at the option market. I see the 240, 260 bid ask, and it's a 10-minute ago quote. And so right at the moment, it traded at what, 250 the last time it traded. Sometime today, it's up 32 cents. So in theory, you're down 31 cents right now in this contract. You're losing on this contract, but your stock is up to 29.20 from where it was when you wrote it, right? So you're up dollars on your stock, you're down pennies on your contract. No problem. You don't have to do a damn thing. You can sit here with these arms folded like we're teaching you and just say, keep coming. Come on, stock, come to me. I dare you to come to 30 bucks. I dare you to come to 31, because what you got paid to write the stock, 209 for 30, you're selling out at 3209 in theory. If you were to be exercised, you're actually being paid 3209. We're at 29.20. You're going, come on, keep coming. Interest rates are going up on Wednesday dramatically. They're going up around the world on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. 12 different central banks are raising rates. You folks actually want to bid up GameStop in the middle of all this? Be my guest. Because if it does go to $30 a share or $30.50, your contracts are 50 cents in the money at $30.50, but they've lost a couple more days by the end of this week. This is going to be, what are we at now? The 19th. We're going to be what, the 23rd? What is it? 25th, 24th, 25th. These contracts are running out of time. And that means the time value is going to shrink out. And this contract will probably still be 250. Even if the stock goes to 30, it'll still only be 250. If the stock goes to 30.50 by Friday, the contract will still only be 250. And you can sit back and go, well, I can do a rollover anytime I want, but it's only worth 50 cents a share. Next week, we're coming out of September into October, and this contract is getting real close now. It's going to start to drop in price unless the stock keeps going. If the shares only reach 30.50, 30.75 next week, these calls might only be trading at $2 a piece. And you're sitting there going, I've only made 9 cents. If I buy them back at $2, I've only made 9 cents on the trade. However, my stock was 26 something, 27 something when I wrote this contract. Now it's 30.50. I can buy this thing back for what I got it, what I sold it for, and I can now write a 31 or a 32 for 2 or 3 weeks out for how much? $2 to $2.50 a piece. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to write those. And you're going to say, thank you, GameStop, for going up $2 a share, $3 a share. I really appreciate it. Why don't you do it again for the next 2 weeks? But if you don't, if you go back to 29 and I just wrote a 31, it's okay. I forgive you. I'll buy this contract back for pennies on the dollar. I love this. Fool, you're doing just great. Mirko, hey, Uncle Bruce, I just bought back 5 ARKK, $44 expiring this Friday, 56 cents. I just bought them back. I sold them 10 days ago for $1.75. Thank you very much. That's a wonderful little trade. It's $1.69 profit, or $1.29 profit, whatever that is. You figure out how much money you made for the 10 days. And you're going, this is easy money. I mean, I've sold 5 of these for $175 a piece. I sold 5 of them. I took in, what was that, though? $875. And I just gave back $280 of that. I kept the change. Thank you. Get ready to write again. You got to love this. Assuming I wouldn't get exercised till the stock hits 32.09, is there still a chance plenty of time? Fool, you might get exercised the moment the stock trades at $30.01. Don't even think about the 32.09. Think about it this way. The stock breaks $30 and goes to 30.50 tomorrow. Nothing you can do about it, all right? And then you get notified. You were taken out. They bought your stock from you at $30. You keep the 209. You always get to keep that. In effect, you just sold for 32.09. It's trading at 30.50. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to buy your stock back at 30.50, and now you're going to write a $31 or a $32 contract, good for 2 or 3 weeks out, just like you wrote this one 2 or 3 weeks out when the stock was down at 27.28. You want to be exercised at 30.50. That would be great, because that's going to make you $1.59 extra money. You got 32.09 for a 30.50 stock. You're a happy guy. Take me out. and I'll now write a 32 or a 3150 or a 31 contract, and I'll bring in another 209, 210, 225, and you hope to get exercised at 3150. That would be great. I just got bought out at 3350, 3325. Take me out every single time. I'm now going to write the 33. I'm buying the stock back. I'll write 33s. You take me out, I'm buying the stock back, and I'm writing 35s. Let's go. Let's go to 100 a share and do this. Let's do this all the way to 100 a share. This would be wonderful. Yeah, you're going to get doubly rich. It's wonderful. Flint, I'm a winner, chicken dinner. That's right, baby. Mirko, a fool if it took. What you bought in for your contract has no relation to if or not you can exercise. It's in the money, but you should wait until Wednesday or Thursday if you have to roll over. Let the shrinkage keep coming your way. Yeah. Which I don't think you're going to have to do, says Mirko. There you go. Dave, fool. I would roll out while GameStop is high for extra time and premium, or up and out if you're trying to keep your shares. And again, if you get the premium, take it. But if not, let it shrink out. I mean, for a few days before it expires to roll over, but I'm sure until 10/7, you'll be buying it back for a nice profit. The chances are these contracts will be lower than what you sold them for. Karen, GameStop up again. Thanks a lot. 29.43. Dave, folding my arms on my sofa. October 6.5 covered calls. Giddy up, baby. Giddy up. SoFi 696. They're out of the money. Fool. Thanks, Bruce. I'm getting a lot more comfortable with this all the time. I'm really getting comfortable with this. And you will. All of you will. All of you watching me who are into this, who just started doing this the last few months, your comfort level rises as you become more adept at this and more used to it. Stocks fluctuate. They go up, they go down. They go up, they go down. Sometimes they go downtrend. They go up and down, but down. Then they uptrend. They go up and down, but they go up over time. You're going to go, yeah, whatever. I'm just going to keep writing here. I'm taking the money. I'm taking premium. The gamblers are the guys buying my contracts. I'm not the gambler. I'm the casino. I'm offering odds, but I'm not taking odds. I'm offering odds. Hand me the money up front. Hand me the money up front. Dave, the risk is that GameStop hits 40 and you're taking out at 30 and can't afford to buy enough shares to buy them back. Keep writing. Then you move on to the next stock. Here's the thing too, Dave, that's a very extreme example, but here's a classic example. You write 30s. Let's pretend you wrote 10 of these, okay? You may have only written one, but let's say you wrote 10 because people have done this. They've written 10 contracts. They took in 210 on the contract when the stock was 27. Stock goes to 32, all right? They get taken out at 30, but they got 32.10 because of their premium. And they're thinking, I'm going to buy them back, all right? So the next day, the stock opens up at 34. It doesn't even trade at 32, 33. It just opens at 34. But you only got 32.10. And you can't buy 1,000 shares back. You can only buy 900. Guess what you do? You buy 900 at 34. Write $35 contracts immediately for 2-3 weeks out, taking in 225, 250 probably. You take that cash and buy your next 100. You let the premiums buy you the 100 you couldn't buy, and you write a contract on that one. You got 1,000 shares again. But now you're writing 35s against 34. You get taken out at 35. All right. You got the $2 something premium on top of that. You really are selling at 37.25. You get taken out. You got this money in the bank. And the stock opens at $39 the next morning. It just doesn't stop going up. Okay. You buy back 900 of them, write 9 calls, 40s. Take the money from that, buy the extra 100. You got 1,000. And you've written the extra contract. You've written 10 again. You don't care. Because at the end of the day, you do the math and go, what is my account worth? I don't care how many shares I have. I don't care what the stock is trading at. What is the value of my account now? When I wrote 10 contracts when it was $27 a share and I got in $2.09 or whatever it was, my account was worth X amount of money. It was worth like $29,000. Then it was worth $34,000. Then it was worth $37,000. Now it's worth $40,000. You got from $27,000 to $40,000 in value, or $42,000 in value. Do you care that you have 900 shares or 1,000? No, you do not. What is the value of your account? It's rising, and you keep writing. So if you write $41 calls and the stock slumps to $37, that next 2 weeks, it stops going up for a while. The last call you wrote for 210, 220, guess what it's worth now? You're buying it back for 11 cents. You scooped all that cash. And what are you doing now? You're writing 38s for 210, 220. Stock goes to $36. You buy that call back for a quarter. You're writing 36s. You're always writing. If it goes down, you're writing. Goes up, you're writing. Stays flat, you're writing. You never stop writing. And in the end, after 6 months of time, you look at everything and go, the stock was 25. It got up to 40. It's now at $33. How am I doing? I started with 1,000 shares and I rolled them over all the time. And then I came back and I kept rolling. But then I started buying more stock because I had this extra cash lying around. I got 1,100 shares. Now I have 1,200 shares. I got 1,300 shares. And you're sitting there going, I got 1,300 shares at $33 a share. And I got $5,000 cash in the bank. I'm worth a lot more money than a year ago or 6 months ago when I was at $27 a share. I'm worth way more money. And there's the point. Anyone who just holds the stock and does nothing, they saw it go to 40 and came back to 33 and they're up $6 a share. You wrote all the way up, wrote all the way down. You're sitting on more stock and cash, and your account is worth a lot more money than the guy sitting there at 33 a share. Because you're at 33 a share, but you're sitting on like 10, 15 grand more value than they are. That's right, because you've been writing. That's the win. Exactly the win. Now, if you've been taking cash out to pay bills and you're still holding your stock, way to go. You've paid off expenses. You've got cost of living increases that you've taken care of. You've knocked off debt, perhaps, whatever you've done, or you've plowed it all back in the market and you grew your stock positions. Nice going. Welcome to the party. Constantine, if you roll 2 to 3 times because the stock's going up, aren't you down every time, basically aside from the value of the stock going up? No, that's not true. If you're rolling over a call that you sold for 210, like our friend here, he sold it at 210. He buys it back for 250 and writes another call for 250. That's a flat transaction. He's still sitting on 209 of his cash. And those contracts go down to $2. He's up a dime on that contract, but the stock has gone up dramatically. If a rollover has to be done again and again and again, and the stock goes up $7 a share, but he rolls over his contracts, he's still sitting on a 250 contract or a 209 contract, but his stock is up $9 a share. The shares stay flat for 2 weeks. Those contracts die down to 50 cents. He buys them back and writes another 210, 220 contract, and it doesn't do anything for another week or two. He rolls that over and makes another $150 a contract. He does that again and again and again and again and again. If stock wants to back off a couple of bucks, naturally, it can do that. He will score even more faster. But if it wants to just go up and 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 go to 100 a share in 6 months, it just goes up to 100 a share. He's going to roll over again and 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 again. And he's going to be sitting on contracts that he wrote for $2-something a piece, and he's got $100 stock in his possession. He's richer, and he's probably got more shares. It's a win. It's a win. It's a win. You just have to wait for the stock to go up or down again before you take profits, right? You have to allow stock to trade. And the stock will tell you the direction it's going. It always does. What is it saying today? We're up 82 cents at $29.46. Are we doubled in price? No. Did we go up $10 a share? No. We're up 82 cents. Okay, fine. We'll do rollovers. If that's what we have to do, fine. We'll do that when the time is right and the price is right. The rollover is right. We don't have to do it now. We don't have to do it in 10 minutes. We do this anytime we want to do it. And if you're happy making a rollover right now from a 29 to a 30 or a 30 to a 31 or a 27 to a 29 or a 25 to a 27, whatever, you're happy, do it. At the end of the day, can you bring more money into your account in cash, or can you bring more money to you with a higher exercise price. Either way, you win. You make more money. Up to you when you pull the pin. Now, obviously, if you're sitting on in-the-money contracts right now, you're susceptible to exercise. You're in the money. Up to you how comfortable you are with that. You're going to be exercised at 29 or at 28, so be it. But on the other hand, if you do rollovers, you're going to lift your exercise price. You're out of the money again. You can always do that. Fool of a tool. Thanks, Mirko and Dave, for the Mac guy. Mirko, Uncle Bruce sold 5 of these ARKK 4250s for this Friday, $119 after I bought back those 44s. I've just written 4250s. Always be writing. Absolutely. He's putting up his units at 43.69. There you go. That's what you're doing. Is there something wrong with this? Nothing is wrong with this. Everything is right with this. Absolutely correct. I love it. I love it. ARKK. So let's take a look and see how we're doing here. We're looking at a 41.54 market, and he's writing the 42.50s. Beautiful. Out of the money, $1 and $1 plus, and they're off today 113, and he's bringing in 120 on top of that. I love it. This is a great move, buddy. As always, it's the right move. Dave the Mac guy, this is fair, but you're paying double the commission. So what? Pay commissions, do thousands of trades, pay the brokers. Don't be afraid of the broker's fees. The money you're making is far above that. By the way, it's a deduction against your capital gains. It's a write-off. Value of the account is what matters. Right on. There's the right there. There's the line right there. Mirko, these contracts are already down to 88 to 95. Thank you, gamblers. Thanks for the $1.19. Love it. That's beautiful. Now, the stock will drop and your contracts will get in the money, and then you will buy them back. It might take a couple of weeks of rolls, but you can't win every time. You will take profit, and then you move on. Dave, rolling's just a big picture idea compared to the per trade profit or loss. Dave, though when you consider assignment fees, commissions, rolling can be a way of saving on those fees. Karim, the idea is to roll for more or equal to what it costs. That way, it's not a loss. JR, roll and factor in commission fees, and then each trade is flat until the stock turns your way. Bartman, Smart Rent, just hit a 52-week low. Might be time to grab a few more. Just might be time. Bartman, Smart, just 52-week low. Rolling also helps you save on tax if you're trading on a non-advantaged account. Good comments. Each and every one of these comments would not have been here a year ago, and they're here now. Thank you all for all of that. If you notice, the Dow's up 22 points. We were down 250 in the pre-market. We're up 22 now on the market. The market has accepted the fact that there will be interest rate increases this week. It's already agreed to that. It already knows it. There can't be anyone on the planet saying on Thursday morning, I had no idea the Fed was going to raise their rates 0.75 of a point yesterday. That caught me completely off guard. Really? What cave are you in? The market has already figured it out. That's why the GameStop is higher. It's up 81 cents because we know the rates are going up. The thing we don't know is the effect on the economy that this is going to have, not just the American economy, the global economy. That we don't know. We don't know the effect of the war in Ukraine going forward another 6 months. We don't know the effect of China, US, Taiwan issues. We don't know that. We have to just stick around and wait it out. We're not going anywhere. Might as well stick around and wait it out. All right. Thank you all for these comments and being on top of this. Appreciate it. You're on the right track, you guys. Welcome to the party. Oil is at 84.11, down $1. Was down a little lower than that earlier today. The NASDAQ is still down 22, S&P down 1. The Dow is up 31 right now. That's 1/10 of 1%. In case you're thinking, oh, the Dow's taking off. 1/10 of a 1% up move. Remember last Monday, we lost 1,200 points. We never got that back. We never got that back. All right, Apple is up 53 cents. GameStop up 72. SoFi is down 11. Rocket Lab is unchanged. HPQ is down 23. AMC now combined is up 2 pennies. It's just up 2 pennies. It's given it all back. We might see some dippage on GameStop now because of this. If AMC and Ape can't hold, any gains, that'll give up ground on GameStop, I think. We're at 29.31 on GameStop. The high of the day, 29.42, 29.54 for the high. We're at 29.31. We're backing up right now. ME up 5.5 cents to 310. Matterport 402 down 3. ATIP down 7.5 to 107.5. Smart Rent 262 down a dime. We've got Aspire down 7 cents to 119. Sextera down 23 to 481. That might be a low of all time, or close to it. What else have we got, Jen?
Emergency vehicles outside the hotel.
Oh my gosh, we have emergency vehicles outside the hotel. GameStop must be up.
Oh, is it? That's why.
That must be it.
And it's kind of miserable out right
Is
now.
it raining?
It's raining and it's quite windy.
It's a miserable looking day. What can we say? We got to go down for breakfast here. Our show is just about done. We're on 2 hour. We're at the 2 hour mark right now. We got to go downstairs and have
We
a
might
bite to
have
eat.
to go look and see how nice looking the firemen are and the firefighters. Mm-hmm.
Are there fire girls?
No.
Fire women?
There you go.
Fire women. Check them out.
They're firefighters.
I have a feeling that if I were suddenly to become a bachelor due to someone's demise, unexpected demise, and she laughs, I don't think fire women would be my gig, because I think they could kick my sorry little ass around,
They could carry you around.
Because I'm not into that, Maybe some guys are into that, but I'm not into that.
As you got, older and aged and possibly infirm, they could carry you around.
They could carry me around.
Wrap you up in a hose and just
Wavy gravy. I am number 199 thumbs ups. I'm a late joiner. We have 202 thumbs ups. You guys came through for me and helped me get to 200 thumbs ups at the last minute. I appreciate that. Spur. All right. I wish all you enjoyable start to the week today. See you all later. Alberto, October 7, expiring 310s for $12.50. Tesla now we pray. Right on, buddy. Wrote them for $12.50. Nice job. October 7th. Nice. So you spent 300 something to buy the stock and you brought in $12.50 right up front. That's a nice move. Those are barely 3 weeks. Yeah. JJ, I'm writing GameStop 10 sevens for 3150 calls, 215. Right on, buddy. That's good money. Karim, please don't leave. Laughing out loud, Olivia. Nazareth, you either roll at the same strike price for more money. Example of 30 for a 30 for, what is this? 2 weeks later, or you roll 2 weeks later for more money. That's true too. Good morning from Zeta State. I am 204 on the thumbs up meter. Thank you, pal. Appreciate that. I love Zeta State's philosophy on writing options, though. He drives his option premiums. I love it. He drives a car that he makes payments on from option premiums. So every time he starts that sucker up, he hears his call options making him his money. Every time he rides around town and people look at his Beamer and they go, look at that nice car that guy's driving. That's right. I'm driving my call option premiums.
That's right, my baby. Theory at Vegas. If I get a substantial jackpot, I cash out and I buy something.
And I take it home with me.
I take it home.
And I get to look at it all the time.
I have a reminder.
I made money on a slot machine.
Be
I lost on the next slot machine, but on this one, I bought this. Oh, man. Constantine Nazareth, appreciated. John Anderson, thank you, everybody. Thank you, John Anderson. Thank you, all of you, for watching this morning's show. I'll be on again at 3 o'clock Eastern.
If the place doesn't burn down.
If we're not kicked out of here. If we're not really homeless, as if we're not homeless as it is. But we'll keep you posted on how it's going. Keep an eye on these markets, everybody. Let's see what they do as the afternoon rolls on. The Dow is up 54 right now. GameStop at 29.44. Mirko, question. I'm long for GameStop 20s, 21.20, which I've covered calls on. So my cost is 0. If I sell them now and buy 100 GameStop against them for 19, something that would be a good deal, right? So you've got 4 $20 GameStop contracts. And he's writing covered calls on these. What to do? I would say keep writing. If the shares want to go to 33 to 35, just in the next month or something, whenever, you could at that point sell those 4 in the money calls for a nice markup, turn around, and then buy 4 or 5 $25 contracts deep in the money, and now write 5 at a time. You could take the gain of the 20s, roll into 25s, get 5 or 6 of them, and then write 5 or 6 contracts instead of 4. That would be the way to look at that. Moonman Moo is saying, thank you. Octavio Unglers, I just bought back my 923.26s for 363, and I turned around and I wrote 1014.29s for 380. Great advice. There you go, right there. This is exactly what we're talking about. We're buying back $26 contracts and now writing $29 contracts. That's $300 a contract more in a strike price. If you get exercised, you get $300 a contract more. The best part is he's buying these calls back for $363 each and selling them new ones for $380. He's getting more money in his hands to roll up into a higher strike price. All he's giving up is September 23rd expiry, this Friday, for 14th of October. Genius move. Absolutely. If you did this on one contract, you're up. You're $300 richer if you get exercised, no matter what. If you did it on 10, it's $3,000 richer, plus the 17 cents in cash, $17 a contract. Nicely done, Octavio. Karen, I wrote AMD 81, October 7, 2 cover calls at 189. Merkel, thank you, Uncle Bruce. There you go. Merkel, you always want to roll up your contracts to more contracts so you can write more calls. So if these calls go up in value on you nicely and you can roll into higher strike just as far out or further out and get more of them, you're writing more calls. You've just given yourself a raise. You're bringing in more cash now on every contract you're writing. Rock and roll, kids. Okay, guys, thank you all for being here. I love it. 29.39 on GameStop, up 75 cents. The high of the day on GameStop, 29.54, and we're seeing a 29.37 to 42. The Dow's up 75 points. S&P's up almost 5 points. NASDAQ looks like it's up 3 points. Oil still down 80 cents. I don't have any faith in the big move in the market. This market will come lower, but at the moment, it's a reaction to a big sell-off last week. There's some little bit of nibbling coming in, but the downgrades are coming. Corporate downgrades are on tap. Stand by for those, and we'll stay on top of that. Okay, guys? Thank you, everybody. Mirko, have a nice breakfast. Thank you. Cosby, have a good day, everybody. See you all later. Get some rest, Uncle B. Thank you very much. You got it, guys. Thank you all for being with me this morning. Love you. Thank you for renewing your memberships. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for the thumbs ups. We will see you at 3 o'clock today to finish off the final hour of trading. And I'll catch you later, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye for now.